Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing, laddies and mental gents. Oh God, we got another work week ahead. Jesus Christ, those weekends go well way too quickly. 2 days. It should be 5-day weekend and a 2-day working week. But anyway, I'm going to get a bit controversial now because I had a little chit chat with someone who identifies as trans. There was a male posing as a woman, said that they didn't say whether they were transgender or transvestite, but they were trans, which apparently is the way we have to address the whole issue, even though it's kind of getting into the vernacular of, well, men can be women and women can be men, which in my opinion they can't. But anyway, there's that whole trans agenda argument to be had, and that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is that this person I was speaking to was advocating that men who have decided they're suddenly women should be allowed to fight women who are female fighters, real women. And I use the word real women because there's this phrase that goes around cis, C-I-S. No, fuck that, right? No. There are women and there are men and there are transgender women and there are transgender men. We don't need a prefix for the people who are born as men and women, right? We're not going to rewrite language, right? We're not going to... It's bad enough that a lot of the transgender movement the transgender agenda is to do with, trying to pretend that up is down, black is white, and the sky's, green and the grass is blue. No. We're not going there. All right. There's real women and real men and transgender women. Now, the argument that I had with this particular transgender person or whatever was that he, well, dressed as a woman, she, whatever pronoun they want to use, they were saying men who identify as women should be allowed to fight real women. And I said that's an obscenity. And it is an obscenity because this is a statement that shouldn't even need to be made in the real world where people have any kind of semblance of common sense. But a man is born, real men have different skeletal shape, their muscle mass is bigger, larger levels of testosterone, etc. They are by definition usually, more often than not always, but usually physically stronger than women. Certainly if they're in the same weight category. Almost always if they're in the same weight category, they will be, physically stronger. And let's take this person I was speaking, let's take their argument to the logical conclusion, which is that let's say that Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua or any leading heavyweight you care to mention, let's say they suddenly decided that they are female. They identify as being female. Identify, because that's the big word. Identify. By the way, I identify as a 27-year-old, handsome, very handsome 27-year-old who has regular threesomes, daily threesomes with Karen Gillan and Gal Gadot, and 3 times on a Sunday. I'll have the Monday off to recover, but it don't happen. You know why? Because it's not the real world. It's not based in reality. It's some away with the fairies, ethereal piece of narcissistic wishful thinking. That's what it is. Really, I'm a 54-year-old fat cunt, but that doesn't matter, okay? Because that's the real world, and you accept things in the real world, and you get on with it. But you can have your little dreams and your little fantasies, but the two should never cross over. Why? Because that's bad for the individual and it's bad for society. But anyway, let's take the transgender agenda, whatever you want to call it, whatever this person I was speaking to was talking about. Let's take it to its logical conclusion. Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, one of them, maybe more of them, suddenly decides, I'm a woman. And you know what? I want to carry on boxing. So what they do is they obliterate, hospitalise, possibly even kill a load of females, all right, load of female fighters, and suddenly I am the women's heavyweight champion of the world. What a strike that is for transgender people. What a wonderful, bit of societal progression that is. Never mind that I've just smashed the living tar out of, a load of real women. Never mind that I've hospitalised them. It's something to be proud of, right? What is this other than the worst type of misogyny, the most disgusting, vile abuse of women. I cannot think. You have to be away with the fairies to buy into any of this nonsense, this drivel. It's almost like an Orwellian mentality. Biological facts, in fact, scientific facts, do matter in life, in the real world. You can't discard them. Language, you can't rewrite language. Well, you can, but it's a very insidious, creepy thing to do. I've heard people say, transgender, trans women are women and trans men are men. No, they're not. If they were, we wouldn't be having this debate. Because there wouldn't be any need for it. We just say, oh, that's a woman, that's a man. No, they're not the same. They're not the same. And this guy I was talking to called me a transphobe. He said, you're transphobic. Well, actually, as it happens, I do have a degree in English language and literature. I know what the word phobia means. It's an irrational belief of something, right? And the only people who are being irrational are the people peddling this trans agenda bullshit. Okay, look, this is a boxing channel, and I can't allude. I think I've done more than allude to the trans agenda. I can't talk about the issue of women fighting men and men fighting women without alluding to the broader picture, which is the trans agenda. So yes, I've done that, but that's not the intention. I'm picking on. By the way, I'm talking about this guy. I'm going to call him a guy because he is a guy. He's got a penis, for fuck's sake. I've never met any women that I've never met any women that have penises, right? And if I did bump into one in a bed, I'd be out of that fucking bed quicker than a fart through a pair of frayed underpants, all right? Because you know why? Because I'm not gay. Nothing wrong with being gay. Nothing wrong with being bisexual. But I myself am not. I'm an adult male and I'm heterosexual. And no, I'm not going to pretend that a man is a woman. So no, this person I was speaking to has a penis, they're a man, all right? And this person had the cheek to say to me, well, if you took a little girl, it was a little toddler and a little boy who was a toddler, and you trained them in boxing or martial arts, or, just put them in some sort of camp for the next 16 years or whatever, when they fought, they'd stand a 50-50 chance, provided they had the same talent level, of beating each other. No, they bloody wouldn't, you fool. Do you know anything about combat sports? We live in this is a bizarre world we're living in when grown men and women can make that sort of argument. We've seen it in other sports, swimming, weightlifting, men pretending to be women participating in these sports and completely destroying the very nature of women's sports. A man suddenly decides he's a woman and starts playing tennis against women. If he's not ranked in the top 300, he's still going to beat top 10 women because he's physically stronger. I'm going into one today, aren't I? But I don't care because I need to get this off my chest. I've never heard such bollocks that's being spoken. This modern world we live in is just plain bizarre. I mean, fuck me. It seems to me, I'm getting off point here. Not like me, is it? I'm getting off point here, but it seems to me, since I was a kid, like if we go back 50 years, technology has risen at an astronomically fast pace to the point where we now have the sort of technology I would never ever have dreamed would exist in my lifetime. Meanwhile, as people, our mentality, our psyche, our psychology and all that other stuff, that's decreased to the point where we're now unfathomably, well, not all of us, but a lot of us are unfathomably stupid, and yet we've got access to incredible technology, which is why when you go on the internet and you go to any video, you look at the comments, and there's at least 50% of them, seem to have been posted by people who've got, fucking special needs or something. Look, in my view, men are not women and women are not men. Men cannot have uteruses, women cannot have penises and testicles. Biology does matter. All right, your chromosomes, X and Y, well, that does matter. Yes, it does. It does. Gender is not just a social construct. you cannot, or you should not, maybe you can, but you should not rewrite history, language, and most importantly of all, you should never deny scientific fact in order to peddle any kind of agenda. That is the worst type of fascism, Orwellianism, Orwellism, whatever you want to call it. George Orwell, 1984, good book, read it. You're making a grave mistake. And by the way, none of this comes from any kind of fucking phobia or hate. A statement of facts is not hate, all right? I've nothing against anyone who, you can call yourself a fucking teapot for all I care. You can call yourself, I don't give a fuck. You use whatever pronouns you want. I just don't give a damn, all right? But don't tell me that men beating the crap out of women in boxing rings is ever going to be acceptable, all right? Because I'm going to call you a fool. And in fact, I'm not even going to listen to another word you say, all right? So that's my rant for today. I don't know what you feel. Leave your comments if you've got any. Yeah, another day, another week. Got to be done to get some money in it. All right. Thanks a lot for your time. I hope I didn't put you off your cornflakes, but there we go. Speak soon. Much love. Bye for now.